Once again, we're staying in our office layout _2.dwg file. Now, in this particular video, we're going to be taking a look at polylines in more depth and also splines. Now, a spline in AutoCAD is an irregular curve, and you'll see how splines work in a moment. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the polyline command and also the polyline edit command, first of all. Now, you'll remember we've got these two desks here, this one here and this one here, in our reception area in our little office. So we're going to zoom in on those first. Get in nice and close so that you can see what you're doing. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to explode these polylines into their original line and arc segments. So select this desk first, like so, Home tab on the ribbon, Modify panel, and you're going to click on this command here, Explode. Now that will explode it back to its original arcs and line segments. Can you see that? And we're going to do the same to this one here as well. So again, select it, up to Modify, click on Explode, and you'll see there now that that is also exploded into its original line and arc segments. Now you'll notice if you hover down here, there is a line segment that highlights. When you see it, left click on it, and it will have 3 grips. Click on the center grip to make it a hot grip, and just move vertically upwards. Can you see the polar tracking kicks in? Because you've got your polar tracking on. Now, when you see that polar tracking kick in at 90 degrees, type in 150, direct distance entry. Press enter, and you'll see it moves it up that polar tracking line by 150. Just hit escape now to deselect it. Over here to the other desk. Hover, there's the line, left click, click on that center grip, and again drag vertically up the polar tracking line, type in 150 and enter. Now what you've done there is you've moved that line segment from the exploded polyline upwards. Hit escape just to deselect any lines. And what we're going to do now, we're going to hop to the Modify panel again, click on the flyout here, and you want Trim. Click on Trim, come into the drawing area, hover over this line here, left click, hover over this line here, left click. Can you see you get a little red cross on the piece that you're going to get rid of, and it goes grey, like that, click. And we'll do that again there, click, like so. Then we just press enter to finish. Now, what's really important is we need to make these back into polylines. Now, one of the really nice things about AutoCAD is it has keyboard entry shortcuts. Nice, easy keyboard entry shortcut, PE, Polyline Edit. Press enter, and it will prompt you to select a polyline. Pick any part of the polyline. I'm going to select that arc there. It will say, do I want to turn that arc into a polyline? There's a prompt there with a Y for yes, so I press enter for Y for yes. Then I select join on the submenu, and you can select the original arc like that. Just work your way around, selecting all of the objects that form your polyline like that. See, they're all highlighted. Press enter to confirm. That will take you back to the polyline edit menu. Just press enter again, and when you hover over that now, it's now a closed polyline again. Do the same with the chamfered desk as well. So again, PE, polyline edit, press enter. Select, say, the chamfer there, and it will say, do you want to turn it into one? Enter again to accept the Y for yes, and select join. And we just select all the objects. Again, it doesn't matter if you replicate here and select an object more than once. AutoCAD works that one out for you. There we go. All the objects are selected. Enter again. The submenu comes up. Enter again. Submenu disappears. And you've closed the polyline edit command, and you've got another polyline. Now, what we want to do, in the gap that we've left here, we're going to place a little rectangular polyline that is going to be, in essence, like a plug strip, so that we can have our computer plugged in, our monitor plugged in, etc. So we go to the layer drop down on the layers panel, again on the home tab on the ribbon, and you'll notice we have an electrical layer. Click on the word electrical to make electrical the current layer. We're then going to create a little rectangle. So we go to the draw panel, up into the corner here, click on the flyout and select rectangle. Now this is quick and easy as long as you've got your object snap tracking on. make sure you have on the status bar. I'm going to use this endpoint snap here, left click. I'm then going to hover over this endpoint snap, drag downwards until I get an intersection, left click. There's my rectangle. Now you've got a choice here. You can draw another one or you could copy it. I'm just going to simply right click, repeat rectangle, again, endpoint snap there, left click, hover over this endpoint, drag downwards until I get the intersection, left click again. There we go. There's my little electrical plug strips to be used for computers and electronic devices. Perhaps you might put a printer on this other desk maybe. If I zoom out now, that looks nice and neat and tidy in the office environment. Now, we're going to take a look at a spline now. So we're going to go up to the layer drop down and we're going to select landscaping as our layer. And we're going to use it here, our spline. So zoom in a bit on the corner so that you can see the lines. There's a line there and there's a line there because we're going to be using the endpoints of those lines. Go to the draw panel here and click on the flyout and just pin it open. There's our two splines there. We've got a spline fit and a spline CV, control vertices. Select spline fit. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to the end point of that line there. You might get the intersection, remember, on the plant. Click there. And what we're going to do, we're just going to draw some random points by clicking. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to come out again. Click there. Can you see the splines starting to appear as I click? So you're kind of moving in a zigzag motion. Go down to there, and then we'll place another one on that endpoint intersection there, and then press enter to finish. So there's our spline forming a nice little random curvy boundary for this sort of landscaped area outside the office. Now, if I select that spline and click on it, you'll see there that I can add a stretch fit point. And also what I can do is if I right click, you'll notice there if I hover over spline, I can convert it to a polyline, reverse its direction. I can display control vertices though instead. So I can make it into a spline CV instead of a spline fit. If I click on display control vertices there, can you see there's the control vertices? So if I click on one of those, I can actually move it around like so. So if I click on it, just exit the menu first, and there's the points there. Click and drag. Can you see? And I'm altering where the spline goes by doing that. Second click alters it. Now, with it still selected, right click, go to spline, display fit points. Can you see the fit points are there now? But I can still just see the control vertices as little tiny blue dots. I'll exit the menu, and that's basically how you place a random spline to create a nice curvy boundary in our drawing. Now, splines can be used in lots of different environments. A typical use would be contour lines on maps, for example. Just zoom out slightly, pan across, and you can see that we now have a nice setup there in our drawing where we've utilized polylines, polyline edit, and a little bit of spline command as well. You might want to also unpin your draw panel so it pops back into the ribbon.